Hello, God bless. This is Daniel Maximoff with another vlog. Sorry about the lisp. I just recently got the Invisalign inliners. Just a little disclaimer ahead. So for today's story, I wanted to touch on the Women's March that recently happened, and my take on the Feel Good Fest, because I can say it's a political movement. So let's jump into it. So the Women's March recently happened, and the two previous ones that already occurred still accomplished absolutely nothing, which surprises nobody, mainly because here we are in Western civilization, where women and men are equal. Not 50-50, but I would say equal to a degree that they have access to education. Women have access to divorce. Women have access to bear arms. Women have access to call the police should any harm come to them. And also they have privileges, such as when, where cases of, let's say, rape happens. You see men get slandered, but women are not. And so what the Women's March symbolizes to me is a bunch of privileged assholes taking for granted all of the freedoms they have. They even have the right to assemble, which in some countries like Iran and in the Middle East, even Africa, they will be killed for doing such a thing. So, it really serves no purpose in a secular society, an egalitarian secular society, for feminism to have any effect, because it's a movement that accomplished already what it should have accomplished. And rather than letting it go and just embrace the freedoms they have, they whine and bitch on the street, which is so infantile and tremendously pathetic. And they do so also with a bunch of pussy hats, which look like pig ears. Really, they don't look anything at all like pussies, which actually adds to where I'm at, because I'm vlogging outside. So pig ears, and their behavior is like those of us swines. So there's also that. And so recently I've seen these marches occur. The original one was so cringy and embarrassing that in fact I don't think they should call it a woman's march. They should call it a little girl's march, because no grown woman, rational woman, would take part in something like that. Because first of all, the march wasn't really about women's rights. It was it ran under the nebula of women's rights, but it was really about being a leftist, a radical leftist. It had no tangible goal to reach. And if you interview a lot of those people who attended, they couldn't articulate the thing they were protesting, which is very concerning, because nowadays people are much quicker to take action than they are to rethink their position. So, which says a lot of what's going on here with these useless marches. The second one, I think it had infighting, so they didn't do much with the second march. And now this is the third one, where we had women marching saying fuck Trump, and who are pro-abortion, who are against violence, so to speak. Because I did see some signs that are against violence, but they themselves take part in violence. So, and in the topic of abortion as well, I'm pretty sure that the my body, my rights doesn't correlate well with the unborn. You see, the baby the zygotes does not has the right to say it's my body, because at the end of the day, when abortion happens, you're killing the baby. So I wouldn't say it's your body, because it's not your body who's being harmed, it's the baby. And I guess people it goes under the religious, theology, analogy, that is against God, but it's also is considered enacting cruel and unusual punishment onto an innocent human being. And it also is synonymous with erasing people from existence. So I want to add that to that. I want to add that to the topic of abortion. So that's not the only problem that I have. Also, the infighting, where a lot of women just rip signs from guys and women and other women who are pro-life and who are themselves women, who protecting in the march to make their voices heard. And then they violently take their signs, rip them, and then when they are attacked, they play the victim card. But when it's okay from a woman to, from a leftist woman to take on, to, take part in actions of violence and deplorable behavior, but somehow it's not okay for the other side to respond back. So also, I like to say this. I don't know what is it about these marches that are causing these women to, make their voices heard, because they're very privileged women who have just as much as rights as any man. And I was wondering to myself, what's holding them back in life? What's holding them back? Because apparently it's not the government, it's not laws or anything like that. It's themselves. Their deplorable behavior is what's holding them back, really. Because I couldn't fathom anything that would take keep people oppressed in the United States, other than the fact that their disastrous behavior and their inability to coexist or be tolerant towards another's opinions or presence, really. Because if you see many of the signs these women have, they really have no idea what they're fighting for. They have no idea. They have nothing to fight for, really. So the only thing they do really is divide and pretty much be it's not about equality, really. It's about supremacy. So advocate for supremacy, which is never okay. So they don't want equality. What they want is supremacy. What they want is for the world to see things through their eyes, to their twisted eyes. So what's holding them back is really their deplorable behavior. And I guess it's time to say, because I feel like women are in the Western civilization are placed on a pedestal of some sort, is to start seeing them as people, as deplorable people. You know how they say men are full of shit? Well, women are full of shit too. Because men and women are people. And people are full of shit, unfortunately. And by all of the nonsense that comes out of these marches, all that I've seen that definitely has happened, that they have accomplished, is people voting for Trump and seeing what a fraud feminism is, and how these women have become so detached and desanitized from common courtesy that they will go down the streets, bitch around, bitch around and do so in front of where the whole world can watch. But there are other women in the other side of the country who have to face acid being thrown on their faces, who are being jailed for taking their hijabs out, who are being stoned to death, some even in Africa that need water, equal rights, access to education, and they will be disappointed and in tears to see what Western women are doing in these clown feel-good festivals that they make every single year for 3 years in a row now. We're going for a fourth one. And accomplishing Donald Trump going on an 8-year term, and another 4 years of Donald Trump is all that they have accomplished. And they also have accomplished in destroying the traditional relationships between men and women, and the coming into a common ground to see which is wrong and which is right. This is all that's been accomplished. I don't see any enactment of any tangible change. So it's just a cringe fest, really. So this is my take on this ridiculous march. I wouldn't say it's for women or men. And the guys, let me say this as well, the guys who take part in this and back these women up are just as pathetic, and I wouldn't know what will motivate a guy to take part in something like this, because deep down I know for a fact that these leftist women really are not for male equality, or they don't care, they hate the idea of a guy being equal to a woman. They want supremacy. So I don't know what would motivate. I guess I would from my time as a male feminist, but that was me being naive back then. But in truth, it's a false movement and a scam. And I wouldn't, if I were a guy, I don't know, because I can see why I can definitely see why they partake in something like this, but I wouldn't say it has anything to do with, I guess you want to win girls, the women's hearts. I don't know. It's pretty ridiculous to see a guy in a women's march marching alongside the radicals, knowing very well they have nothing to fight for and that they hate men, really. So there's that. And so in conclusion, I'm very grateful that I broke out of the male feminist thing, and I'm very grateful that I see this for what it is, and I hope that people will come out of it because when they do, they're gonna see, oh my god, what an embarrassment. So a massive facepalm awaits those who come out. So this is my take on this train wreck, and God bless.